Hey there. Ritual here to give a big shout out to you for making it through the hectic holiday season. The magic of those family moments, that was you. And now there's new milestones to prep for in 2025. This new year, check clean, quality pregnancy nutrient support off your to-do list with Ritual. We've done the research to create science-backed pregnancy support like our prenatal multivitamin, natal choline, and fertility support, all designed to be taken alongside each other. But don't just take our word for it. They're also third-party tested for microbes and heavy metals and Clean Label Project certified. So whether you're trying, thinking about trying, or already there, we don't have to tell you that prioritizing yourself can be the hardest part. That's why we're helping you get started today with 30% off a 3-month supply for a limited time at ritual.com/podcast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America, Sackheads Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk than Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on the immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work here, too. But for those who are tuning in around the world to the best in late-night conservative talk, Sackheads Radio.
Sack news. Sack news.
Radio.
Sack news. Sack news.
Radio.
Sack.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America. In America.
Into the silo.
And in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.
Relation with you know? Relation with you know?
Thanks, Hill Dog. Yeah. It's always nice when you get a Hill Dog intro, right?
I didn't realize we had a guest tonight.
We don't.
Huh.
Hey, welcome to the Sackheads Radio Show.
Thank you.
What day is it?
It's the day after the original Brexit.
Hell yeah. Damn right that's what day it is. Hold on, adjusting some microphones here. There we
Not
go.
a big deal.
There we go.
The day after we originally told Great Britain and England to go F themselves.
And rightfully so, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, what are you going to say? We shouldn't have done it?
No.
You're not a Tory.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not a Tory. That's a lot of work.
Nor are you a communist.
Hey,
By the way, did you know that Alaska used to be part of Russia?
Uh-huh.
And since it was the last state that was admitted into the Union, which was after the birth of President Trump,
yes.
I think he should be investigated for that.
Wait, wasn't Hawaii the last state?
Either way, BC, why are you screwing with me with facts? Listen, Russia had two ports. Russia had two ports in Hawaii too. I mean, we can guys
Into Fort Bragg, and we were going to sleep at the Russian River campground.
Sounds lovely.
And being the lovely people that we were, we decided that we were going to the Fort Bragg liquor store, and I kid thee not. We got a massive, like a 5-gallon jug of Gallo, the cheapest rot gut Gallo wine you could possibly imagine. We took it back to the campground. We drank and drank until we were the funniest people in the campground. We had people coming over to our camp because we were so damn funny. Or perhaps that was just my perception. In any event...
You were like SHR at Freedom Fest is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Not a big deal.
No, so what happened is after this grand time, I wake up in my 1972 orange Subaru DL... in the passenger seat, and my shirt and my pants are covered in vomit.
Oh! Because of
No,
the Gallo?
Hang on.
That was a great Russian
hang on.
River story.
Was it your vomit?
Yeah, that's a good
Right?
question.
That is a very important question. Was it your
I
vomit?
can only hope, because I can tell you, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, there is nothing worse than waking up in the morning with the worst wine hangover from hell and having to clean up your own barf.
Oh, that is amazing.
You know what,
That's
BZ?
the end of my
BZ,
Russian River story.
I have somebody you may want to talk to because you clearly like drinking cheap wine and getting hungover.
They don't even make it.
I don't-
so
I don't-
bad.
listen.
They don't even
Hold
make
on.
it anymore.
Hang on.
Hold on.
I don't.
He
I
has,
don't.
he has insight into this.
I do. Look, BW could probably provide you some assistance
I think so.
with how not to get hungover from cheap wine. BW, if you're out there, BZ would like some pointers on how to drink cheap garbage wine and wake up feeling fine because you function on it all the time. So
Just regaling that tale makes me laugh out loud because at the time when I woke up in the morning, that was not funny.
oh no, but it's hilarious now.
But it is an arse.
And to anybody who was watching you, that would have been hilarious
Hilarity,
then
yes.
as well.
Yeah.
I'll agree that there's definitely times in your life where something was not funny at the moment,
Right.
but long time later,
It's pretty darn
pretty damn
hilarious.
hysterical.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
It
Yeah.
was pretty damn funny, I have to admit. I mean, even the next week, of course, my friends, part of the Catholic Mafia, they laughed their arses off at me
Catholic Mafia.
Mafia.
Literally weeks
Guilty.
afterwards. It was grand.
So I need a. Oh, hang on. So BZ or BW replied back. Here's how she drinks cheap wine and does not get hungover. She utilizes a swizzle straw.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, she is
Sign
a
me
pro.
up.
So for everybody out there, if you need to drink cheap wine and not be hungover, swizzle straw is the key. This is from our resident cheap wine expert, BW girl.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Box
So
wine.
thank you, Box Wine, for
Appreciate
that insight.
Very much
Hey, I have to
appreciate
say, welcome to everybody in chat. We got Jersey Joe in chat. We got Mike, Big Mouth Patriot, Mary Brockman.
Hi, Mary.
Carrie
Mary.
Baxter, Donovan, H.
KBD.
Hi, everybody.
Pundit, Dan Butcher, and count them, 3 viewers.
it. Wow. We'll take all
That's
three.
all?
That's right.
If you want to jump into chat, go to shrmedia.com. Click on live/broadcast, and the chat room will be right there. You can also watch us on YouTube by going to shrmedia.com and click SHR TV, and you'll see our ugly mugs sitting there.
Now, to
Speaking of
carry-
seeing our ugly mugs, hold on, because we got to pay some friggin' bills here. Freedom Fest. Hold on.
Hi, this is Mim from Freedom Fest,
Hi, Mim.
the world's largest
Hi,
gathering
Mim.
of free minds. Join your friends from SHR Media at the beautiful Paris Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada,
Heck yeah.
July 19th to the 22nd, for 3 amazing days of liberty-oriented discussion, investment
Yeah.
advice, and the Anthem Film Festival.
And the
It's our big
Sackheads.
10th anniversary, featuring keynote speaker William Shatner, and Freedom Fest favorites including Steve Forbes, Jim Rogers, Lee Edwards, David Boaz, Doug Casey, Dinesh D'Souza, John Stossel, Lisa Kennedy, Grover Norquist, Peter Schiff, and many more. Don't miss
Sackhead,
out.
Sean.
Register now at freedomfest.com for $100 off the regular registration rate when you use the all caps code SHR Media.
Sackhead
Hi,
Sean.
this is Mim.
Mims, what a great gal. She cut one just for us.
I know, right? She made my name sound perfect. I don't know how she did that, but
She
a
did.
great job.
Yeah, I don't know. It was.
Hey, so
Hey there. Ritual here to give a big shout out to you for making it through the hectic holiday season. The magic of those family moments, that was you. And now there's new milestones to prep for in 2025. This new year, check clean, quality pregnancy nutrient support off your to-do list with Ritual. We've done the research to create science-backed pregnancy support like our prenatal multivitamin, natal choline, and fertility support, all designed to be taken alongside each other. But don't just take our word for it. They're also third-party tested for microbes and heavy metals and Clean Label Project certified. So whether you're trying, thinking about trying, or already there, we don't have to tell you that prioritizing yourself can be the hardest part. That's why we're helping you get started today with 30% off a 3-month supply for a limited time at ritual.com/podcast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I'm going to
Weird.
be on a panel
You are.
at Freedom Fest. Yeah, Second Amendment panel. Still waiting to see exactly what the format is going to be. I think it's going to be kind of a a front row panel being asked questions by the audience regarding the Second Amendment. I had volunteered initially. You, as a matter of fact, I volunteered you.
Perfect.
I know why. I know why. We talked about it.
to play a liberal on the. It was going to originally be a debate.
Yeah.
Is what we were kind of looking at. So they were throwing around ideas, and I said Clint would be amazing at that because he's so used to blowing up the liberal argument. He knows them like the back of his hand. But it's going to go more to a panel, which I'm
the palm
of
my hand
as well. So that'll be. I'm pretty excited.
I called you the quintessential contrarian.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. So that's Freedom Fest, folks. It's coming up right around the corner. We are so excited to be going to Freedom Fest. We talk about it all the time. It's an amazing event for us. It's going to be pretty freaking spectacular.
And like we were talking about, Sean, dude, that is 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
That's all. Just 2 weeks away.
Yeah, look, hey, we still need contributions so we can get our train tickets.
What, you're not hitchhiking like me? With a 120-pound pack?
No, we're taking a train, I've decided. I'm talking like a cattle car.
Yeah, well, here's the problem is whenever you say train, I think about that time that you showed me the video that you were caught in a train in, and I don't think I want to do that with you, so I'm just going to fly.
Again.
You
mean again?
Again.
Yeah, look, be fair. If you're going to call me out for shenaniganry, at least, like, you left out the part where you lotioned my back.
Here's the problem. You were going to die if I didn't.
Waxed his back?
Or
lotioned his back?
Lotion.
I had to lotion his back.
Lotioned my back. And that's a true story. I think we were in Reno at the time.
Nevada.
Yep.
Reno, Nevada. Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It took me years of therapy to be able to get rid of that. Years of therapy.
Yeah.
But
then you kept coming back for more.
Medicinally, I didn't mind doing it. The biggest problem was the way you arched your back and moaned. That's what bothered me the most.
That didn't bother you. That didn't bother you. Because all of a sudden I felt something that was like a wet Q-tip and I felt 2 hands on my shoulder. Well, that's all I'm saying.
And I had left the room 5 minutes earlier, so we don't know what the hell that was.
And I don't know where Sacco was, which is weird.
His entire body wriggled like a gummy worm.
That's a very good way to put it. That's a very good way to put it. I do have gentle hands. So, BZ, how many people do we lose in the chat room with that one conversation?
Not a one, as a matter of fact.
Gained.
We gained some.
We gained. Yes, absolutely.
Yay.
Yes.
Nailing it. Nailing it.
And there's a new one in there called CNN Blackmail. Whoever they are, I love them already. CNN Blackmail.
Why can't it be white mail?
You know what?
You're welcome.
It's 10 past.
Anytime.
We have Russian Hag in there, too.
Oh, yes, Russian Hag.
Who else can we get in there?
I don't know, Margot.
Oh, can please somebody sign into chat room, please, as Kim Jong-un. Please. Just do me that favor. Just have a set. Just have a set.
Hang on, see if somebody is going to back out and then pop back in.
No, I don't want to know who it is. Don't even look. Just let it happen. Just let it happen.
I've used that line before. It doesn't always work out, just so you know.
Speaking of CNN and blackmail.
Oh.
God dang. Is that a story?
I've been sending tweets.
What? There's nothing to see here.
All day.
What?
Here's the amazing part. For everyone who doesn't know, let me catch you up to speed for about a minute and a half.
Yeah, you must be.
So there was a video released on Reddit. It was a WWE or WWF video that they superimposed a bad guy as CNN and the good guy or whoever the attacker was with Trump's face, so it looked like Trump ran into a WWE ring. The guy was on the side, it had the CNN face, and he choke slammed him. It was absolutely friggin' hysterical.
It was great.
In my humble opinion, I thought it was brilliant. It was so great that not only did the left go insane.
Oh
my God, it was beautiful.
Oh.
Actually, you know what? Let's just take a moment to appreciate that. Yeah. Good stuff. So, no, I think we all had good stuff with that. And anywho, but then CNN, who has just been taking it to the face for the last couple weeks with all of these Project Veritas videos, everything.
They did exactly what
Everything.
they shouldn't have done.
They decide they're going to investigate the Reddit.
Yeah,
user.
we'll show you who
Right?
we are.
Right,
Dude, we're CNN.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll double down on stupid.
Oh, God.
We'll attract every meme and GIF maker throughout the planet.
GIF.
That's what I'm saying.
GIF.
All,
Are you
GIF.
good for GIF?
all today.
GIF is a peanut butter, just so we're clear.
But no, it's been nonstop.
It's
beautiful.
I love them.
Beautiful.
So, do you think CNN? Do you think the conversation went something like this? We got somebody who's making us look bad.
Or worse.
Okay, listen. So, all of the media outlets, with the exception of Fox, is going to be on our side. So, let's go ahead and just blackmail them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do that.
Yep.
Oh crap.
Here's what I love.
Is that and is that that's the conversation the lawyers had? I wonder if our ambulance chasing hack got a new job working at CNN, and this is where this decision came from.
Maybe.
Right, because they have to have a
Maybe.
legal team, and I haven't talked to the ambulance chaser in a good solid day.
That's funny. He was there last week when you weren't here. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Weird.
Yeah, you know what? I want to stick to what CNN did because this is the part that is absolutely frightening. So they find out who this Reddit user is. They use all of their hack technology. They did to this Reddit user what they're accusing the Russians of doing to Trump in our election.
Yeah,
They
only-
just became Putin.
Yeah. and they admitted it.
Admitted it
on the air.
wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
Holy
And
shit.
CNN, the Communist News Network,
They're-
does it.
They're proud they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were proud they did that. Now they're like,
Oh, this isn't going so well for us.
oh,
So
crap.
then they threaten to out the guy and essentially make him withdraw everything, destroy all of his profiles, remove everything negative that they deem negative. And here's the best friggin' part about this. We're past the 10-minute point. Here's the best part about this.
no. Why are we going to? No, let's just get into topics tonight.
Let me point the finger at the right place.
There you go.
Here's the best freaking part about this.
It looks like a Vienna sausage coming right at the camera. I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to take a bite.
You're screwing up my mojo. Shut
I
up.
apologize.
So, the best part about it.
Hey there. Ritual here to give a big shout out to you for making it through the hectic holiday season. The magic of those family moments, that was you. And now there's new milestones to prep for in 2025. This new year, check clean, quality pregnancy nutrient support off your to-do list with Ritual. We've done the research to create science-backed pregnancy support like our prenatal multivitamin, natal choline, and fertility support, all designed to be taken alongside each other. But don't just take our word for it. They're also third-party tested for microbes and heavy metals and Clean Label Project certified. So whether you're trying, thinking about trying, or already there, we don't have to tell you that prioritizing yourself can be the hardest part. That's why we're helping you get started today with 30% off a 3-month supply for a limited time at ritual.com/podcast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Is who decides what is or is not offensive? Apparently CNN does, because if he didn't remove it, they were going to out his entire identity to the free world. Holy shit, they legally blackmailed him, or illegally, in public. They would destroy him if he did not play ball and removed what they deemed offensive.
Why are you yelling at BZ and I right now?
But they
Because
also,
you're the only ones here.
That's fair.
additionally, they acknowledged that if they were to reveal his name, another anchor revealed that if they were to reveal his name, that he would likely be threatened.
Yes. Yes.
Folks, here's what you do. Go to Google and enter 18 U.S.C. 241 and see if you think that applies to CNN. Because I suspect that it very well may.
I suspect so as well.
I suspect so also.
I suspect to suspect it.
I suspect that
Don't
you
you
suspect
suspect it?
when we suspected.
Yeah.
And here's another, just a tasty tidbit that I heard, unconfirmed, do not know if this is true, the person who did this, and one of the reasons that they may not reveal the name, is that it's a 15-year-old. If it's a 15-year-old, and it proves to be true,
It's a juvenile.
and it gets out, let's see what CNN does
And
with that.
Here's the thing. I'm not
No, well, here,
advocating or defending the kid either way. Because just for a second, hear me out. If the kid is just one of these guys who's like, you know what's going to be friggin' funny, and I might get famous on YouTube or Reddit for this?
oh yeah,
And his username, whatever, 16, 17, 15, doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter what his political beliefs are. As a matter of fact, if he's that young, I would wager a bet that he's not a Trump supporter. But he knew it was funny, and he knew satire is still a very welcome part of our American way. And it is one of the things that we must never lose and have squelched in order to keep a rational debate going. You need satire. We've
Except-
always had satire.
Except we're losing it.
Right, and that's the problem.
this country's needed an enema for the last 10 years. Are you kidding me right now?
God, yes.
Look, so if first
This
of all,
town needs an
this
enema.
town needs an enema. First of all, if this is a kid, emotional distress, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, so sad. But how big are a-holes of our CNN that they can't even take a joke?
Oh well, see, but it's not a joke to them,
Right?
It's
But
not.
but that's my point. How elitist are they that they can't laugh at themselves?
Right.
They can't say, "Yeah, that's hilarious. We're in a war with Trump." It's wait, Trump's beating us.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's the least of it.
Give the governor a harangue.
I think. Look, I think that this potentially could start to be the end of CNN.
Oh yeah.
With public opinion. Look, MSNBC may top CNN here within the next week.
Well, hey, let's be honest. I think at this point, SHR Media has a chance of topping CNN in the next week because they done fucked up. Ron.
Yep.
I mean, I cannot imagine shooting self in the foot so many times.
Yep.
Between Project Veritas, who released another video that Jersey Joe played earlier on Reverb Common Sense. It's a great video. And this. And now you start looking at, start dredging up. I wish somebody, please, if you are a computer nerd, and I love you for it, do me a favor, create a website with every major scandal CNN has had over the last 10 years. Trayvon Martin, there was some stuff with that where they've doctored some information. It goes on and on and on. I want to see the website with every major scandal from CNN over the last 10 years. And the amount of bullshit that they have forced on the American people that has since proven to be an
Let's do it.
absolute lie.
Let's do it.
Not enough time of the day.
Got
and
it.
You don't know how to use the internet.
I don't know how to use what?
An internet.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that a hairnet?
Yeah.
Or Aquanet? A hairspray.
It's the
Aquanet.
opposite of the hairnet. It's the outer net.
Got it.
Hey, I have to update this. There's Mike in chat. Big Mouth Patriot, Mary Brockman, Kerry Donovan, Jersey Joe. There's Kim Jong-un. There's CNN blackmailer. There's Russia hacker, and there's Cato the Elder.
I'm telling you right now, if you don't
This
go to,
is a unique chat room
if you don't
tonight.
go to shrmedia.com, jump in live chat, and make some BS name for us.
Yes.
It's just you're not a human being.
Right.
That's all I'm saying is you don't have red blood running through your veins. You are not an American,
American.
and you
You're not American?
You might support communism.
You're not American.
You're not American.
I see what you did there. You're not American.
You might support communism at that point.
Who was the president in Dr. Strangelove? President Merkin Muffley.
Merkin Muffley.
It's so outstanding.
So there's Cato the Elder says he heard the guy who made the meme is from Mexico. First of all, how funny would that be?
That would be the ultimate irony.
Second of all, no, I heard it was a Russian.
Wouldn't it be great?
Which needs to be investigated.
Wouldn't it be awesome though if the person they think it is a fake profile and it's actually the Russians that did it, and we find out that like they think they contacted this kid and they're in the up and up, but it was actually Putin. That would be beyond balls funny.
No, if it were Kim Jong-un, that would be funnier. Like, that would be the only thing that was funnier.
That's a good
Or
point.
perhaps a CNN mailroom clerk.
Oh yeah, one of their own.
An employee.
Oh yeah.
No, because then they could take action, and that'd be all bad.
Yeah, but you know what? You know how many news outlets would just hire him right away?
Oh,
God, yeah.
If for nothing but about his CG props, if nothing
Yes.
else.
Oh, he did a great job with it.
And I've been watching hour after hour. The GIFs keep going. They
Nonstop.
keep rolling. And every time I see one, I ship it right over to CNN.
Oh, yeah, you have to tag him in it. It's great for them. This is the best thing that's happened to CNN since
Great.
they've tried to steal an election. And I'm not going to lie, but this is what happens. Project Veritas, things like this, you become a target.
Oh, yeah, we haven't even mentioned Project Veritas.
Uh,
Oh, my God.
Yeah, another wonderful one for
Go.
Veritas.
Go. 7 minutes. Go.
Go ahead, BZ.
It's just, you have to go to Project Veritas, either that or to YouTube. I think there's 4 videos out now. They're about 4.
Why did you hold up 3 fingers when
4
you
to
said 4
5
videos?
Because this one, just one.
Just checking.
One way. He's got about 4 videos out now. Each one documents how insidious and how stupid and ridiculous CNN is. And isn't it odd that they haven't addressed not one of those videos?
Why'd you hold up 2 fingers when you said not one?
You know what? I actually have the Veritas video right here. And why don't we listen to it before we go to break? And if we carry over, we can. This is outstanding.
They're great.
I know Joe played it earlier, but this is Project Veritas. This is from their YouTube channel. And it is the Jimmy Carr, who's an associate producer at CNN. Here we go.
Anything I've said to you, I would defend on the record. I don't think I've said anything wrong.
Hi, I'm James O'Keefe with Project Veritas. Jimmy Carr is an associate producer with CNN's morning show, New Day. Our releases about him and others last week exposed CNN's bias and radical fake news agenda. In a subsequent meeting with Carr, he doubled down about his statements and other anti-Trump comments. I just can't believe the arrogance of these people.
I had a moment of panic because on Sunday night, I met them on a Friday. On Sunday night, this anti-CNN advocacy guy released a bunch of tapes of him. Okay, so the Nothing Burger thing came from a guy who secretly recorded his conversations with a CNN employee.
Who did that?
Just this right-wing advocate.
Hitler used?
But a guy who hated CNN and was pro-Trump and wanted to expose CNN's lies. And he had met a guy and talked to them about CNN's coverage and recorded it secretly. And released it at...
When was this?
It was on Sunday night, Monday morning. And it came out, and we were all going, holy shit, how is this guy so stupid? He's talking to everyone and saying X, Y, and Z about CNN. But then I went there and went, well, I talked with a couple of guys at a bar on Friday afternoon, and I said things that we wouldn't normally say. I mean, granted, anything I've said to you, I would defend on the record. I don't think I've said anything wrong. How did they record it? The guy had his phone on in his pocket. But so he was just talking to a guy. No, it was a secret recording. He had his phone voice recording in his pocket, talking to him, talking about, hey, don't you think CNN's coverage is a little ridiculous right now? And this employee said, well, yeah, I think it's over the top, and right now it's kind of bullshit. But I mean, that became the subject of 3 opening monologues on Fox News evening show. And I had the thought of literally...
No wonder I missed it.
I'm not bullshitting you. I literally went, holy shit, I hope those 2 guys that I met weren't trying to fuck with me and record me. I mean, granted, anything I've said to you, I would defend on the record. I don't think I've said anything wrong.
We all recognize he is a clown, that he is hilariously unqualified for this, that he's really bad at this, and that he does not have America's best interests at heart. We recognize his justified crazy.
Would it be fair to question the intellect of the American voter?
Oh no, they're stupid as shit. I hate to be this with you. Sorry, Kellyanne Conway.
What's she look like? Is she the one with
She looks like she had a shovel. She looks like she had a shovel.
Carr also let it...
Yeah, nice, huh?
Yeah, that's great to say about Kellyanne Conway. Really like that. She certainly
There's
deserves
no war
that,
against
don't
women.
you think? Yeah, those leftist people, they certainly love all sorts of. They respect and love women because that's part and parcel of their shtick. So CNN, namaste. Okay, that was brilliant. That was great. By the way, Sean, I should tell you that we have. Russian hacker Kim Jong-un, Cato the Elder, Sommelier, WWE Trump, Pacquiao, And we have Russian hacker, and we are graced with the CNN CEO, Jeff Zucker.
Well,
here in chat.
Wait, Jeff Sucker?
It's
Sucker?
I told him, Jeff, thanks for being in chat at SHR. Great to see you.
This might be one of the best chat
This
nights that
is
we've
the best chat roll
had.
I've ever seen.
I'm going to open it up just so I can read it. This is warming my little American heart as we speak. I'm not going to lie, boys.
Absolutely wonderful.
This is.
I know we got a minute left. I got to ask a question of you guys and everybody else in the chat room, listening live and listening in podcast.
Which one is it? Because that's a whole lot of people.
Who won? Was it Pacquiao or was it Horn?
So opinion, or obviously you know what the card says.
I watched it.
I think Pacquiao won.
I think Pacquiao won.
And I'm not a Pacquiao fan, but I think Pacquiao won.
I think Pacquiao
I had to watch
won.
it after the fact. I didn't get to see it live.
I think I watched it live in a restaurant, in a Vietnamese restaurant, eating pho.
I cannot believe
Eating
all the
pho
people
what?
that are
Pho.
doing this. This is
Friend
absolutely
or foe.
amazing.
So I chose pho.
Pho, yeah.
I believe it's pronounced pho. I might have a little insight on it.
Listen, if I had a Vietnamese restaurant, I would name it Friend or Pho.
Friend of pho.
Pho, P-H-O, pho.
Yeah, they pronounce it pho.
Right.
I've also seen a restaurant called Pho King. P-H-O space K-I-N-G, which I thought was absolutely friggin' brilliant. I'm just saying, it's not a bad idea. Hey, folks, we are up against
Pacquiao.
I think Pacquiao won hands down.
I did.
I'm not.
He was ripped off.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. We're up against a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the 800-pound communist leader in the room.
Well, he's not literally in the room.
But he is in chat.
Yeah, but he is in.
He is in the chat
He
room.
is in chat.
We'll talk about Rail Chem here in just a few minutes. Here.
Hello.
Headley Lamar is now in
Yes! Yes!
Best night ever in chat.
Yes!
If you want to join in on the fun, shrmedia.com, click live podcast, sign up for the chat room, and be heard. Oh, I love it. God bless you guys. We'll be right here back on the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, Pundit Press Radio, and YouTube through the SHR Media page for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
Hey, this is Mim from Freedom Fest, the world's largest gathering of free minds. Join your friends from SHR Media at the beautiful Paris Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada, July 19th through the 22nd for 3 amazing days of liberty-oriented discussion, investment advice, and the Anthem Film Festival. It's our big 10th anniversary, featuring keynote speaker William Shatner and Freedom Fest favorites, including Steve Forbes, Jim Rogers, Lee Edwards, David Boaz, Doug Casey, Dinesh D'Souza, John Stossel, Lisa Kennedy, Grover Norquist, Peter Schiff, and many more. Don't miss out. Register at freedomfest.com for $100 off the regular registration rate when you use the all-caps code SHR Media.
The bloviating Zeppelin. He's big-footed enough radio shows to last a lifetime, courtesy of Sean, Clint, Ken, and Jersey Joe. Now it's time for him to waddle on his own 2 feet via the glorious SHR Media. Gird thy loins for the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Coming soon to Ossicles near you. Excelsior.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
He won't do a Stevie Wonder impression. Yes, I will. Welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Every man you've never wanted to see at Park, right there is BZ. If you see him in a red van that says free candy on the side, run.
No, hang on. You know what? Hang on. And on the back of that van,
yeah,
I see Led Zeppelin, or I see some stick. Oh God, what is the name of that band that everybody follows? Or the Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead.
Jerry Garcia like.
Right there. Yes, right?
You want to hear one strange thing from the 60s and the 70s? I never went to one Grateful Dead concert.
You went to 5.
Never bought one Grateful
I don't
Dead
see you as
album.
a Grateful Dead guy.
And as a matter of fact, never liked the Grateful Dead. But I do have a story about the Grateful Dead.
Wait, let me give this tweet challenge out. Hold on, I want to give a tweet challenge because I want people to tweet us. Find a picture of BZ's van. What do you think his van will look like? And right here, I want you to tweet at Sackheads. Hashtag free candy. What do you think right now? Go to Twitter at Sackheads. Free candy. Find a picture of the van and tweet it to us.
Hang on, BZ, look into the camera.
Oh, hold on.
Look into the camera. Put your finger like this. Now, if this were my GIF, shh, don't turn this rape into a murder.
God. And of course you had to bring it to a new level.
That would be my picture.
BZ, you had a story.
That would be my picture.
That would be your picture.
I
BZ
do
has
have
a story.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I decided I wanted to work for San Francisco Police Department. At the time,
why?
That's another story. In any event, I took a ride along with an inspector, and I decided that I want to work for SFPD. Yes, oh boy, I'll say.
Ooh, Callahan.
Whoa. And you had to live in the city, but I couldn't afford to live in the city, so I was living in an apartment on California Street. And it was a walk-up. We were on the second floor. There was some dude from Estonia that lived in the back apartment and had to be very, very quiet because he always called the landlord all the time saying that we were too damn loud. In any event, I got a knock on the door one day up on the second floor. And I opened the door, and there's a really disreputable-looking guy that looks like me right now. And we had a piano in there. And nobody played the piano, but it was taking up space. Well, it turns out that the guy brought 3 other people with him to move the piano. I checked with the landlord. It was true. It was Pigpen from the Grateful Dead.
No.
Come to collect his
Get out
piano.
of here.
True.
Wow.
True. And I still didn't like the Grateful Dead.
No, well, why would you? Just because their piano is at your house doesn't mean that they get any sort of special friggin' anything. Screw those guys. So, at Sackheads, hashtag free candy, what kind of van do you think BZ drives?
And when you do that, make sure that you indicate that it would have orange shag carpeting inside, okay?
Oh, I picture the wizard on the side and the half moon window.
Oh, the Von Bodie wizard.
Yes.
No, I don't.
Clint.
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
I don't picture that. I picture like a circa 1980 Ford Econoline van with no windows in the back. A chain padlock on the rear. Yep. Real faded chipped blue, like faded sky blue with like a red panel from when he replaced it from a crash.
Obviously sun bleached.
Yep, sun bleached, absolutely.
Yep.
With a note handwritten in spray paint that says free candy.
Free candy.
On the side.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube...
and Stabbin' Cabin.
The Stabbin' Cabin.
License plate frame.
Park and pound backwards.
Right.
Park and pound backwards.
And it would have 2 bumper stickers. No, 3 bumper stickers. If this band's rocking, don't bother knocking.
Yep.
And don't laugh, your daughter's in here. And the other one would be disco is to music as Etch-a-Sketch is to art.
Beautiful artwork, as a matter of fact. Oh, man. Hey, if you're listening on YouTube, do us a favor. Go to the subscribe button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's right there underneath the video. A little subscribe button. Make sure you do that for us. Now, to talk about my absolute favorite world leader in the world. Such a funny little guy. Riddle Kim himself.
Isn't he?
Riddle Kim. Did you see the story that was done on Riddle Kim? June 22nd. From Fox News. They did a story about all of the creative methods he has gone through to kill his enemies.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I figured before we talk about the missile launch you might want to touch on that.
Well, first of all, we've heard about the AT-AT gun.
Yes.
By far my absolute favorite, and back me up on this, boys. Anytime you take somebody, strap them to a wall, and then use an anti-aircraft gun to destroy them,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you can call me sick, you can call me whatever you want.
No, that's freaking hilarious.
That's creative.
Oh my
Yes.
God, it's comedy like you've never seen before. And a message, right?
That is
How
that-
much of a fuck you is that?
Well, hang on. That is something like literally I could see on Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Right? I got freaking sharks with lasers. Like, I want a freaking AT-AT gun, and I want to blow them away. Like, that's...
It's beyond ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. Oh, it's freaking amazing.
That's like the Clint Eastwood movie, 1976 or 77, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, where they used a recoilless rifle
yes.
to get into a bank vault. Now, that's some creative shite.
I swear to God, the things that they're watching are absolutely incredible. So
I bet he's got a copy of that.
The mortar round.
Okay, so I'm already getting tweets on Twitter. Jersey Joe said a really good one. Carrie May won so far because it looks like an old Ford Astrovan, and it's just like bright pink with hearts, and it says, "I hope your day is as nice as your butt," written across the back. Keep them coming. Free candy at Sackheads. I love them.
Now, Pacquiao was robbed, sent a photograph of one that said, it's from wickedcampers.com. It says, I don't like small cars or real big women, but at times I always find myself in them.
Oh, God. That's amazing.
Perfect.
That's amazing.
This family show brought to you by SHR Media.
You guys are on a roll.
Oh, chat room loving it. SHRmedia.com. Clint, your
yes.
AT-AT was my favorite. What's your favorite way that Kim Jong-il dispatches adversaries?
The pack of wild dogs.
That's usually related to him.
The pack of wild dogs. Hands down. Like, I know you love the AT-AT gun, and I do too. It's interesting, but I can't go the same as you. I have to say the pack of wild. I mean, aside from Game of Thrones, which I think Little Kim did it first. So if you can inspire an HBO series as well known and as crazy as Game of Thrones, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Like, my hat's off to that man.
It's all about the creativity.
Right. Let's starve these dogs. Okay,
Yes.
and then what? And then we're going to starve them some more. And then what? And then we're going to starve them some more. And then what? Run. But who does that?
Yeah, the only thing that Little Kim didn't do is lop off some guy's dick first.
Yeah, well,
look,
we don't know if that.
We don't know.
We don't know if it hasn't happened yet, though. You're assuming it hasn't happened. I mean, we're talking about listen. Out of all the famous people, I always go to Vlad the Impaler as like one of the most bizarre ways to have killed people throughout history, individuals and groups. And I so far, I have to say, Lil Kim's working his way up the ladder.
Hey, for all we know, Little Kim could have already had his own Game of Thrones Red Wedding.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he has.
Oh,
on some
yeah,
level.
that's...
I'm sure he has on some level.
Yeah.
BZ, hold on. I got mine and yours. BZ, your favorite way that Little Kim has dispatched adversaries, and then we have to go into the serious part of this.
Well, I have to admit, I like yours with the anti-aircraft gun. That really was the most creative, although I have to throw in as a runner-up the poison in the airport.
Yeah.
That wasn't that bad.
That was a hard one to say no to for me.
It is, but here's the thing. That's so 16th century.
The gun was so much better.
Right? That's so 16th century.
No, you got to think about it. He had two women with poison run through the airport and stab his own brother repeatedly.
I still say that's too 16th century.
That's like bad spy movie shit.
No, that's too like Elizabethan, right? That's too. Yeah, that was too old school for me.
But here's the thing: he doesn't use the same shite all the time.
No,
and I'll tell you what,
he varies it up.
This is why I took something different. I took the dogs because you guys are in agreement. I would have given him the AA gun if he'd have done like History of the World thing. So if he'd have like shot the guy in the air with a giant catapult and then used the AA gun to dispatch him while he was flying through the air, then I would have given that to him for creativity. But just strapping a guy on a board and shooting him with a big AT-AT gun, I mean, creative, yes. Could he have gone further with
Yeah,
it?
but think of
Absolutely.
Think of all the elbow grease that had to go in, moving that big ass gun somewhere, and then setting it up. I mean,
Set
that
up
took
the wall?
That took some work.
Okay, come on. So you can't tell me that you would prefer a guy strapped to a wall getting nailed with the AA gun versus they catapult his ass in the air a la Mel Brooks and then go at him.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying that hasn't happened that we know of yet.
Right.
Right. So,
but I'm saying that I would have given him credit for that.
Of course, how would you not?
Right.
By the way, there's Carrie Baxter Donovan's tweeting under free candy right now at Sackheads. It's a van that says free Reddit gold inside, and she also hashtagged CNN blackmail. So,
one other way that probably could have topped the AT-AT gun is if on this missile launch that they did just recently with the ICBM, if they'd have strapped a political opponent to that.
Dude.
Right?
Or if they put him under the exhaust.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Lit him up.
No, strap him to it, and then when the U.S. shoots the missile down, blame the U.S. for his death.
Now, you strap a
Call
guy
it
like
an
that.
attack.
You
Right?
strap a guy like that to the missile, it's going to throw off your curve. It's going to throw off the angle of the.
I would adjust for it.
Of the rocket.
Look,
I mean, that's tough. That's tough
there's
to
math
do.
for that.
There's math.
Unless your theory is that they're not smart enough to figure that math out.
You just got to adjust your dope, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's got dope for that. It's no
Yeah.
big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Dope. Not methamphetamine, BZ. Put your tongue back in your mouth.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, you mean dope like
Data on previous engagement.
Dennis Rodman, that kind of dope?
Yeah.
No, different dope. They can keep that dope.
No kidding.
Oh man. So let's see.
So Tuesday,
Yeah, let's go to the series.
yesterday,
of North Korea.
North Korea launched an ICBM that they believe is capable of hitting the mainland U.S. The U.S., I mean, this was a missile that had to be trucked into place. It was not launched from a mobile launcher because that would be problematic for a lot of different reasons. Mobile launchers are a lot more difficult to find, detect, and that sort of thing. The officials, it's a fuel. It's fueled by liquid, not solid rocket engine or liquid fuel, not solid fuel.
It's right.
Rocket propulsion.
You'll get there.
I'll get there. Which took a lot of time to fill up. If it was solid rocket motor, it would be easier to launch, less time, all that stuff. So it uses liquid fuel. The U.S. supposedly knew this was happening, knew it was being set up, knew it was being fueled, watched the launch. They didn't believe it was capable of hitting the U.S., which is why they didn't shoot it down. However, could have hit Japan. Could have hit. Well, we didn't know where it was going. I mean, unless they had intel.
So here's my thing.
Right.
We always hear of how little we know about North Korea, but all of a sudden we knew all this was going on. I am the first one to admit that our intelligence community sometimes has its own little bit of a propaganda to make them promote themselves.
Yep.
If it was on the trajectory that it was on, and it was over the Sea of Japan, it landed in some pretty highly populated shipping lanes.
Yeah, and air traffic through civilian air traffic.
That was a point.
But so I have one thing on this which is kind of funny to me, and I want to start a competition to see what our chat can come up with because they're on fire tonight, and then I want to get back into the story. So it's a new type of missile. It has not yet been named. So I would like SHR listeners to come up with a name for this particular rocket, and if we come up with a good one, and Sean's going to put the hashtag up to start tweeting us, and if you come up with a good one, we'd like you to send the suggestion to the Pentagon.
Yes, please.
And by the way, you can't use the names that I mentioned about a month ago that you guys made fun of. Remember those?
Yeah, you have to have your own.
That's right. It's got to be creative.
We'll be
it's gotta
checking
be
the
original.
archives on this. And BZ is going to be actually, because he's retired now, so he's going to be sending these to the Pentagon on your behalf.
Yes, thank you.
Because he's got nothing to lose.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, the Pentagon under this administration, they think
Here's
it's
the
great.
funny thing about CNN.
Long duck dong. Jeff Zucker. Long duck dong.
You got to tweet it at us.
You got to tweet it. You got to tweet it at us.
Go at Sackheads. Hold on, because I'm going to put it up now.
Yeah, put it
at
up.
Sackheads, hashtag NK name, and you want to name the new North Korean ICBM. At Sackheads, hashtag NK name, please.
Yep. Now, so with this launch, and you hit it at Sean when you said, hey, it went through shipping lanes, it went through areas where civilian air traffic is from. They didn't coordinate this launch with any other country, so problematic for a lot of different reasons. Nikki Haley said today that America has a considerable military options at our disposal. The fact that Nikki Haley, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, is openly saying we have a lot of different military options that are at our disposal, and this is interesting to me because this is piggybacking on the same week where there's serious talks about pulling old ships out of mothballs and getting them up to specs and boosting our Navy and our capacity out and making room in shipyards. And, hey, why do we have some vessels that are sitting for 4 years waiting for repair work to be done? We're woefully behind time. So there's a big push right now to really not only modernize our Navy, but get numbers of ships back in service, and they're looking at all their options. It's not like, we need a more sizable force. It's we need this, and we need to get this done pretty quickly.
Bad.
At the same time, President Trump says, wow, trade between North Korea and China actually increased 40% over this last period. So much for you really being our allies. We know what that's looking like, and China's boosting their military. So there's a lot of interesting things that kind of tie into this ICBM launcher that I see as kind of related in that region, and the moves that the administration's doing in terms of the Navy, like we already talked about, and some of the options they're looking at. By the way, I have a suggestion, USS Constitution. That's all I'm saying. And
nothing like a good ironclad.
Right? Hey, they'll never freaking see it coming. And Nikki Haley now coming out and straight up saying we have military options are kind of being we have considerable military options at our disposal.
Considerable being the key word there, and that's to me. You know what that says to me, and BZ, even off the air, we were talking about this a little bit ahead of time. That says to me that we're a lot closer, whether people like it or not. Hey, listen, we even talked about the fact that last week Obama spoke, or at some point Obama spoke recently about this, and said that even the North Koreans it was last week, I think, is running out of time to come to the table. When Obama is going to the public and saying that.
Yeah, hey, prick, you had 8 years you could have done something with.
Right. No, we all know he punted a shitload of things. That's an old conversation. It's not even worth happening. But the reality is... I know, but the fact that he's even opened that hole under his nose right now is pissing me off, kind of. I get it, but that's I understand what you're saying. But the reality is that shows you how bad it actually is. And... there was another report I saw earlier this week that said they may have twice as much nuclear material as we once thought. And I want to say that I saw that on Newsweek. And so now you mix that with an ICBM, potentially all numbers out looking right now, it could have hit Alaska and North Korea, because when they do the test, they go for height first and try to get as much out of it. And it's actually more harsh on the weapon to go height. Because you're putting it in the atmosphere, the lower atmosphere, et cetera, and the fact that it held together is a very bad sign.
It's a 30-something minute flight, right?
Yeah, it was a 30-something minute flight.
35, 37, I don't remember the exact number, but it was a 30-something minute flight.
So that says to me...
what's the hashtag for the missile name we're being asked in chat?
Hashtag for the missile name, NK name. NK name, please. But that tells you we might be a little bit nervous than we're letting on. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I think this administration's taken this weakly. As a matter of fact, he's been very forward with North Korea from the very beginning.
Yes. I do not think this administration has been weak on North Korea.
I don't think so
at all. I want
to
be clear on that.
And but I think the exigence is starting to show up in what we're doing.
Absolutely. Look, we are rapidly running out of time.
Yes.
North Korea does not give a crap about what we're doing. They are literally starving their people and doing whatever it is they need to do to get this capability operational.
Yes.
And to have this weapon in its arsenal. Nobody's arguing or disputing that.
Right.
You can't let that happen. This guy is clearly batshit crazy. Just look at his actions. And the fact that, okay, so is this knucklehead more dangerous than some of the more demonic regimes in our history, right? Is this guy more dangerous than the Third Reich? Is this guy more dangerous than Mao? Is this guy more dangerous than Stalin?
Anytime you throw nuclear weapons into the equation, you're going to have a problem.
That's a huge game changer, because right now, I don't mean to interrupt, Sean,
no, go ahead. But
this is kind of my point in saying this, right? The Reich had a huge military build-up, industrial complex, and everything else. And
all conventional.
All conventional.
Right.
All conventional.
This changes that.
The Russia, same thing, right? China, same thing. But this, I mean, North Korea already has a huge military force, but this is unconventional. Now they have the capability of going nuclear. We've seen what batshit crazy leaders can do, what evil men could do with a conventional military.
Yes.
And we've seen the atrocities and the horrors that man is capable of throughout history. So, in my opinion, there is no way we can allow this country and this particular leadership to get a nuclear weapon. I think the time is coming, is rapidly approaching, where something has to be done, not just for our sake, but for the other nations of the world, including our allies, but China, Russia. I mean, once North Korea has the ability to have nuclear weapons, do you think they're going to give a crap what China says?
No.
Well, do you think they're going to give a crap what Russia says?
Here's the other thing. Listen, at the end of the day, China and Russia may not want this over as quickly as they say. Look, it's keeping us occupied.
Russia does.
No.
I think Russia does. I think Russia has come out. Look, North Korea is capable of hitting them. Now, granted, Russia's not really effing with them, but they are voting for sanctions against them.
Hear me out on this, right?
Yeah.
Neither one of them's a big fan of our nation. Right, wrong, or indifferent.
Right.
And if you're
wrong.
If you're Putin and you want to start flexing in Eastern Europe, what's the best thing that could happen? You get the Americans involved in a conflict in the Koreas, and now we're going to have to start moving resources from Eastern Europe to the Koreans. So now that changes a lot. Also, all of the equipment that they used to build this, they did under sanctions and embargoes. Mm-hmm. And yet they still build this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So what has that done? I don't know. With the help of Bill Clinton and some other shit, it gave them an ICBM and nuclear warheads potential.
Where did they get it?
This is my point.
They went north through China.
They went to China to get all this shit.
And who gave all that to China? Bill Clinton?
Bill Clinton.
This is my point. They've done this with all these sanctions and everything else in place. Look, I'm not a warmonger. I don't like war. I'm not a big fan of engaging in war. Is war necessary sometimes? Yes, it is. Is war becoming more and more the more likely option in this case? I mean, we're already at a state of war, but is armed conflict or at least some surgical strikes increase the chance for that, or the necessity for that increasing? I believe so in this case. I really do. And it may just take something like we did Gaddafi in Libya. I know I've brought this up before, where we park a couple 500-pounders or some snake eyes through his front door and call it a day. Or it may come down to something more than that, where we fly over the capital city and drop one of those Moabs again.
Pyongyang.
What?
Pyongyang.
You're welcome.
Here's a quote that I bet nobody's heard yet, and this is from the top American military commander in South Korea. It's a guy named General Vincent Brooks. And he happened to say this: "Self-restraint, which is a choice, is all that separates armistice and war. We are able to change our choice when so ordered. It would be a grave mistake for anyone to believe anything to the contrary."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Listen, we have if there's one thing I know our military has, is a whole bunch of different strike packages, ideas, and what they want to do. And I'm absolutely have no reason to believe that they don't have a good plan in place for this.
But here are the wild cards, right? What is it? I mean, Trump pretty much called China out,
yes,
on their BS. So what's China going to do? What's Russia going to do?
Right.
And you have to know or have a reasonable idea of what those two countries are going to do prior to taking any kind of military action. Because, look, there may come a tough choice. You may have China say, if you hit North Korea, we are going to declare war on you. And we've talked about this before. I think Russia is going to step back. But what is the greater danger? Being in a conventional war with China or having a nuclear-capable Little Kim?
Right, and I think having a nuclear-capable Little Kim
would be the greater evil.
As our joke ahead of time, as we set up this bit, we talked about all the different ways that he's creatively killed people. We did that for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Shows you what an absolute lunatic and a madman he is. And look, it's all about legacy to him, right? If he could go down in the books as taking out as many people as Stalin, Hitler, you name it.
Yep.
Name any one of the monsters from
making
history.
the Americans back down,
Absolutely.
winning that war against them.
We have to stop looking at how he thinks the same way as we do because it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
He's a lunatic. He lives in this world where it's better to die as a lunatic and a monster than to be a productive member of society. That's why he will let his people die and starve in order to further a missile program that they don't need.
And let's not forget this, because I've heard this argument from a couple
infidels.
No. Well, yeah. People on the left. Well, it's a small nation. What can they do? Look, Japan, circa 1939, 1940, was a small nation.
Japan conquered China.
Yes.
Folks.
Yes.
Look, I'm going to leave it at this comment before we go to break. You ask anyone in North or South Korea right now, and size does not matter. We're up against the break, folks. What? When we come back,
nothing.
I want to talk about. When we come back, we'll talk about some of CNN. We'll talk about some other things right here on the Sackheads Radio Show.
We're going to talk about some stuff here on the Sackheads Radio Show. And when we come back from break, we'll talk about some stuff when we come back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, Pundit Press Radio, and YouTube through the SHR Media page for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
Hey, this is Mim from Freedom Fest, the world's largest gathering of free minds. Join your friends from SHR Media at the beautiful Paris Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada, July 19th through the 22nd for 3 amazing days of liberty-oriented discussion, investment advice, and the Anthem Film Festival. It's our big 10th anniversary, featuring keynote speaker William Shatner and Freedom Fest favorites, including Steve Forbes, Jim Rogers, Lee Edwards, David Boaz, Doug Casey, Dinesh D'Souza, John Stossel, Lisa Kennedy, Grover Norquist, Peter Schiff, and many more. Don't miss out. Register at freedomfest.com for $100 off the regular registration rate when you use the all-caps code SHR Media.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making of this ad. Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Sackheads Radio Show. Live on the SHR Media Network. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey,
Kim Jong-un is...
The best late-night conservative talk
Let me
show.
finish my intro. Pipe down over there, old man. You want to see us on YouTube? Go to youtube.com, search SHR Media. SHRmedia.com is the website. Go to live chat if you want to join in the conversations for this show or any other show on the SHR Media Network. It's open 24/7. Whatever the hell that means. All right. I know, old timer. I know you're.
You know why pirate jokes are so bad?
Why?
Because they are.
I'm going to throw something at you if you don't start talking.
Have I ever told you how to catch a polar bear?
Oh God! No.
We're not.
We're
No, hang on. No, we are because you know polar bears love frozen peas.
Oh God!
No,
look, this is true. Look, you can look this up and read the research.
If it comes from you, I believe it.
No, absolutely. Look, polar bears love frozen peas.
I agree.
And so what you do is you go to where the polar bears go down to the water and you cut a hole in the ice, and you line that hole with these frozen peas.
Okay, right.
And then when the polar bear comes to take a pee, you kick him in the ice hole.
Ooh, that's a grand idea. I have to say it.
What?
No, I'm just saying it's a good idea.
Thank you.
I concur.
It was on the Discovery Channel or something like that.
concur.
It's unconfirmed that they do in fact love frozen peas, but that might be a thing.
I cannot believe you just did that whole setup for a dad joke.
Yeah,
That's a great joke.
Remember, Opernakity only tunes once. Okay.
What? What'd you put in my coffee?
Think about it. Just think about it. Hey, if Kim Jong-un had one bad day, I bet he would take on Xi Jinping. And the Chinese better remember that. They share a border. And it's not entirely impossible one day that with a little extra throw weight, old little Kim could toss one north as well. He's that loony.
Absolutely. No, listen.
If they have any amount of trust in him, that is poorly based.
Yeah, well, all honesty aside, what's going on?
All honesty aside, do you realize what you just said there?
Yeah. He does.
Okay, cool.
He does.
I'm not. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Stop. Hey, do you want to come over here and produce the fucking show?
Yes!
Only I've added a few things since the last time you did it. Like video and a soundboard and a sound cart and all the other shit.
Hi.
Oh, why does this happen to me?
Just let it happen.
Get up!
I need a screen capture.
Get away!
I need a screen capture of that shot right now. Damn it.
Oh, God help us all. Each and every one.
God bless us, everyone.
Listen, with North Korea right now, and we talked about this, I hate to say it, Clint, I'm like you, not a warmonger, but the reality is what it is. They're closer than Iran was, and look at what we did with Iran.
Look, some people need killing.
Yeah.
And that's not, I'm not saying that because I enjoy killing, I'm a warmonger or anything like that, but this guy with a nuclear weapon could literally affect the lives of millions of people.
A great man I knew, his name was Victor Serrano, once said, life's not for everybody, kid. Some people just aren't good at it. And there's some truth to it. Kim Jong-un is not very good at life. He may be living high on the hog and look like one right now, but that doesn't mean he's good at life. It just means that he's ruining other people's. And I understand, when you have the conversation about potentially bombing a city, especially Pyongyang, that's fairly popular, I understand there are risks. And I understand there could be collateral damage. And
collateral damage? South Korea could kiss the capital goodbye.
Right. It's a very tragic, a very scary, and a very tough decision that needs to be made. But I also said that North Korea, and we talked about this, BZ, before, I see a lot like Iraq, right? Remember when we were going to Iraq in 91? Mm-hmm. The information we had. They had an unbelievable tank force. They had a really well-trained Air Force with a lot of experience between the Iran-Iraq war. They had modernized equipment.
Their elite troops were supposed to be the best in the world.
And this was not their propaganda. This was the intelligence that was being gathered. They put up an amazing smoke and mirror show. But
literally, like that was their
Dad Bob, baby. The Americans are killing themselves at the gate of the city, and there's a Humvee driving by with Americans waving at it in the background.
Yeah.
But we see that with North Korea, and as I said before, it could very well be that a set of surgical strikes to the right places could absolutely eliminate all command and control. Look at outside of their SAM systems and their anti-aircraft systems, which we believe they have pretty good coverage over Pyongyang. But they don't have much as an air force. We know that. Even if they got planes off the ground, it would not be a healthy choice for them.
It'd be like trying to get planes off of Hickam.
Yeah, exactly.
During Pearl Harbor.
Only Hickam, I think, had more modern planes than the North Koreans do right now.
And better technology back then.
Way better. Yes, the biggest threat is the artillery risk to South Korea, and it's an absolutely frightening. The amount of artillery they have placed towards South Korea, all of their artillery is placed there.
Bingo, and then
it's
again,
major.
Bingo.
Yeah, but
what people don't realize is that Seoul, the capital, is 10 million people, and it's 35 miles south of the North Korean border.
Smart place for a capital.
Who's going to get hit first no matter what happens?
Well, that's why. So you'd have to go in and you'd have to take that out first. Right? Or simultaneous. You have to have a simultaneous strike. Look, we could sit here and plan the war, but I would think that the left would be behind going in after North Korea. And here's why. If North Korea actually got a nuke and launched it, think of what that would do to the environment.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Trump could win the hearts and minds of the left by saying, we're going into North Korea and taking out Little Kim to save the environment.
Well, and obviously that's one approach you can take, and I don't even think it's a bad approach, and I don't even think you're being funny for saying it.
I'm not being funny. I'm saying, look, if you want votes in Congress, but this is how fucking ridiculous the left is, right? Yeah. But if he said, listen, we can't afford our globe, our world can't afford a nuclear winter. It would devastate the climate. You think we have global warming now. Imagine what would happen to the climate and the regions and the natural habitat in this part of the world, and then go over to the Republicans and say, hey, this fucker needs to go.
Well, but
you'd get 100% vote.
So you want to start going down the humanitarian road as well, right? So
yeah,
I agree. You could take that route. The other thing, too, that is important to take in mind is the amount of lives that would be lost in South Korea and abroad. Not only the environment and the animals and all the other mushy stuff, but the amount of lives. Now, I've talked to some Dems recently.
The left doesn't care about that. The environmentalists don't care about human life.
And even those on the left are starting to think that we may have to do something. And that says a lot. You know, there was a Fox News poll that was released today that I think 56% of the people believe that Trump was handling it appropriately. 15% over that, or the other, or 15% of that in that same poll said that we needed to be stronger, and then the remaining was that we're going too far with it. Folks, I think the rubber is meeting the road in a lot of senses. I think people are really starting to figure out that this guy's a sick son of a bitch. And with this ICBM launch, the day before we celebrate our independence, or the day of, the morning of, really.
Oh, it's a message. It's a huge message.
It's a tremendous message into what's going on and where their mindset is. And that was a fuck you to us. Hey, look at what we can do. And we have the ability to do it. And we're not afraid of you. Whether they really are or they really aren't. We talked about the guy with the gun analogy. Are you going to wait to find out? Yes, I know we have that. We have the technology could take their missiles out of the sky. Well, potentially.
But you're still going to have nuclear material exploding in the air.
Yeah. I mean, I know it doesn't arm until a certain point. I get all of that.
But still.
Right.
I mean, if you blow up if you shoot a bullet with a bullet, if you shoot a missile with
fragments.
Right?
Ask that cop, what was it, a couple years ago?
Yes.
Who shot the guy in the gun?
Yes.
Right up the tube? No, it creates, it will be a fallout.
You're still going to have nuclear material potentially being expelled.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
You don't even have to do that. One volley from North Korean artillery into Seoul is the equivalent of 350 tons of armament.
Yes.
One volley.
So that's when I posed this question. It starts to become really gut check time on North Korea right now. If you're the Trump administrations, if you're the South Koreans and the Japanese, it's a major gut check time for you.
Or your sphincters are watertight.
Well, the South Koreans are not backing off on this. I forget what the exact quote was in the UN Council today.
I think it was, we're not backing down, but don't put your missiles in our country or something like that.
But the UN ambassador for South Korea to the United Nations was pretty much laying out some lines. Like,
but China and Russia weren't.
I'm telling you, China and Russia would love it if we got engaged with them. I believe that wholeheartedly. I think the more we can do to focus on them instead of China and Russia, and that becomes our focal point. China, look at Russia gets to run wild in Syria. If we start bringing all of our resources to Asia,
I agree, but we have to deal with North Korea. What's the greater threat?
I'm not saying we don't have to. I think we absolutely have to.
No, we do.
But that's why they're not doing anything either way. That's why China's not helping.
No.
Look at, they don't want to get involved in that either way.
Well, China and Russia both came out today saying they would not support a new round of sanctions.
Right.
When Ambassador Haley came and said, hey, this week, within the next couple of days, we're going to be bringing about a new round of sanctions. First of all, if you can do more shit to North Korea, why the F didn't you do it in the first place?
Well,
if there's more sanctions, if there's even more we can do in terms of sanctions, why haven't we done that before? Second of all, China.
What have they done?
Exactly. So China says they wouldn't support it. Russia said they wouldn't support it.
Shit through China anyway.
They said they don't want a military option should be completely off the table. That the THAAD system that the U.S. has deployed in the region has undermined their strategic interests. No shit.
And South Korea refused more.
Of course they do.
That's insanity.
That's interesting. But Nikki Haley did something brilliant. She asked, because I think China is in charge of, is the presiding over the Security Council
this week during the rotation, or this month, or whoever they break it up.
So she came back and she asked for the floor the second time, and she got it, and she reminded them. She said, if you do not support another round of sanctions, you are therefore showing your support for the North Korean regime.
Yeah.
And in essence, the world is going to know
You're doing nothing. You're sitting on your hands.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to do
I thought that was brilliant.
Oh, no, I agree. You have the opportunity to do some fake-ass sanctions, but make it look like you're doing something. And they couldn't even do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are just... that's why I am convinced...
What's there left to sanction? That's what I don't get. Oh, we're coming back with more sanctions. If you have more shit to sanction, you're not doing enough to begin with.
Sanctioning doesn't mean a thing because they have China.
Yes.
Right.
China and Russia would just as soon stand by and watch the United States do what the hell we're going to do. Sean, you and I were talking about this before the show. What we said was Trump is going to go to the G20 here this coming week. He's already getting a welcome fanfare in Poland. By the way, folks, if you didn't know, Poland loves the United States.
Right now.
Historically, they have always loved the United States. I got friends in Poland. They love the United States and always have.
Did they love us under Obama?
Yes, even.
Really?
Even, yes.
Wow.
In any event, the Soviet Union, the Chinese, they'll stand by, and that's exactly what's going to happen in the G20 summit. The European Union is going to pull out. They're not going to support the United States. Anything that gets done is going to get done by the United States, and we will get no support. None.
Right.
Here's the interesting thing. There's speculation that President Trump is going to be meeting specifically with Putin. I want to be in that room. I so want to be in that room. Right? Is Putin going to flex for Trump, and Trump's going to say, those muscles are really huge. Now sit down and let's talk business.
Putin is not going to like that. Putin is 5'7". Trump is 6'2".
Yeah.
Putin takes shit like that personally.
Yes, he does. But Trump isn't going to back down to Putin.
No.
There's no way.
Right.
And I think you're right. Putin's not going to like that, right? He's physically, height-wise, he'd be intimidated by Trump, or at least not like it. He's not intimidated by anybody.
Well, he doesn't like the optics of it, right?
Right.
Because in the pictures, Trump's
he wears lifts.
Yep.
We already know that.
So
I love it.
And now you have Trump, who's not going to take any crap.
I love it when little guys try to seem big in any chance that they get.
It's the truth.
So adorable.
Trump's
we all know that little guy.
We do, but let's be fair. The hardest fights you've ever had in your life.
Yeah, but
big yoked out dudes or small scrawny little dudes.
10 out of 2. I had 2 that were really, really for little guys.
Okay.
I just love how they try to flex all the time.
bare-chested white guys on
I'm
crank.
such this tough guy, and I'm going to stand tall and blah, blah. Yeah, cut the shit. Go on, sorry.
So anyways, I want to be in that. First of all, is the left going to spin that like I see they're talking about the election? First of all, I'm going to say, yeah, of course they're going to say that. Second of all, I'm very interested to see, not necessarily what is said by President Trump and by President Putin when they come out of this meeting or after the G20 summit. I'm more interested in actions between the two nations after that, because I think that's going to be very, very telling about how those talks went. They could come out and say, oh yeah, the talks went great, or oh no, the talks weren't anything, but the conduct of both nations is going to speak volumes, I think. And not necessarily of, they flew a bomber, towards Alaska again, or whatever. Yeah, they do that.
What about the hacking? Is that going to come up?
Is that going to, yeah, I don't know.
But, so here's the way I look at it, and
Is North Korea going to come up?
Well, if I'm Trump, right, and I only get 20 minutes with Putin or an hour or whatever, I have to start prioritizing.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. The potential Russian hacking of our electric system is enormous, and it's something that needs to be dealt with.
But no votes were changed.
Right. But it's also not the most imminent threat physically to our nation right now.
That's cat pee.
Right. Don't get me wrong. The two need to slug that out at some point and figure it out. And if the evidence is true that it looks like they at least tried, then we need to have that conversation with Russia. Bad. But I think the elephant in the room right now is the right up close missile, as we were hashtagged in.
The right up close missile.
That could potentially hit Alaska, Hawaii.
Russia.
So, yeah, Russia doesn't care about it. Because
they do.
They do to a point, but they don't.
They do to a point because, hey, guess what? The Russian capital is at the far western end of Russia.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When you need Russia because all of your equipment's old Russian equipment and that's the only way you're going to be able to buy that shit, you're not going to bomb Russia. So, right, China has two.
I think
North Korea has two choices when it comes to who they're going to take out, or who they're not going to take out. You have China, who remanufactures a lot of the old Russian Soviet equipment, and then you have the original maker themselves, including all the Slavic and Baltic states over there that you could potentially buy from.
But we just talked about how batshit crazy Little Kim is. Look,
batshit crazy is not stupid.
Look, Hitler opened a two-front war that ultimately led to the demise of his Reich. He was batshit crazy.
But he was stupid, too. He was a horrible tactician.
Little Kim, we don't know.
That's the question.
Right. That's the million-dollar question.
Kim listened to his generals.
So you can't...
Hitler didn't.
So you
Does
can't
Little
say,
Kim?
I don't think so. He kills the ones that don't...
I don't think he does either.
He kills the ones that disagree with him. So I don't think you can hold that true. He's not going to do X, Y, or Z. I don't think he's going to attack both of them. But if he attacks one of them and us, I think he thinks in his mind he'll still get support from whoever it is. And right now China shares the border. He's not going to attack China.
Right.
He would screw with Russia and us.
I think he'd go Japan and us.
And basically we'd get the old gang back together again. Because it'd be us and Russia and Great Britain again. And
no, here's why I think he'd go after Japan or us. He wouldn't even go after South Korea, right? Because you can't launch a you can't launch a nuclear missile 30 miles away. Just not always the best option.
It's not, but this guy, I don't think you can tell what this guy would do.
Well, he's also not the one programming the missile. All of that, so we can all agree that he doesn't have 550 of these missiles laying around, right? He's got a very limited supply.
The super bad flyer.
The super bad flyer. The wee boom.
Bang ding ow.
Bang ding ow.
She bang.
We too low.
Something wrong.
I'm going to play that video tomorrow, damn it.
Oh my God.
You know what? That video needs to be played with this as the hashtag. North Korean secret discussions on naming the new missile. Something wrong.
Bang
We too
ding
low.
ow.
Bang ding ow.
Oh,
that would be great.
So, but the reality is, say, all right, he decides to launch, right? Say they have 8, maybe 7 of these missiles. They go for the first one because we don't know how many shrunken warheads, miniaturized warheads they have. First one, he goes right to South Korea, and the guy programming goes, "We got it, boss." Middle of fucking ocean. Because even though he might be batshit crazy, the guy working on the missile knows the potential damage. And it could go rogue. And maybe you'll get to a second or a third, but once that first missile comes up, it's going to be game on from us. You know what I mean?
Not if they call it a test.
We'll know if it's a test. The trajectory right away, right? And I have a feeling if he decides to launch, there will be at least 1 or 2 people in that regime who are going to contact us immediately. Because you have to understand, it's self-preservation, right? These guys ain't worried. They are worried about this guy, this lunatic as well. Even if they think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but he happens to be a little fucking crazy, they're not going to allow a missile launch that is going to kill themselves per se. Right? So that's what I'm saying is there's too many variables.
The Japanese got a whole bunch of pilots to fly and crash their shit into it.
I understand what
I
you're
think they would
saying,
kill each other if it means saving national face.
But we don't know.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is this is what you all have to consider when we're looking at options with these absolute fucking lunatics.
Yes.
Absolute lunatics. So do you wait and hope that he never does anything with it?
No.
I think the answer is no.
No, you don't.
BZ, you know...
2:34 a.m., green light, South Korea. The demilitarized zone just became the remilitarized zone. And...
We've said this before.
You take out the artillery that's facing Seoul, and
everything you have, Guam, Japan, South Korea, and the ocean, in that region, you send in for surgical strikes all at once and end this shit.
Yeah.
And I think the time's come. If it happened tonight, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, look, and you don't declare war, right? You literally...
We don't have to.
We're already right. We're already there.
We don't even need Congress to approve anything.
No, you literally park the submarine right off their shores, open a couple hatches, launch a couple things before he has a chance to go underground in a bunker, and game over.
Yeah, because the scariest... So...
Here's one thing that I think we do need to consider. Now, you and I were talking about this before the show, Sean. We know that there are 2 carrier groups out there right now.
Yes.
The Reagan, and we also know, but nobody's saying anything, that the, what did I say? I think the Nimitz is already out there. And there's a third coming as well that we're not supposed to talk about. What happens if a good friend decides to send a surface-to-surface missile at one of our ships?
Yeah. Which they tested recently. North Korea just did a whole battery of tests for surface missiles.
Yes, they did.
And that potential is there. And that's so, I mean, when we talk about what our options are, and you know, I know every leftist in the world is like, you have to exhaust all democratic blah, 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 blah. Great. I agree. We're past that. We have done that time and again. And before we get into another land war...
Carl Vinson and Reagan. I'm sorry. Vincent and Reagan are on scene now. Nimitz is on its way.
Okay.
Yep. Before we get into another ground war in North Korea, before the artillery is sent, before all of that is done, I think you need to wake these assholes up in the middle of the night and decimate their entire command and control, even if you don't take him out per se. Look at what happened with Gaddafi, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't take him out, but he shut up.
We tried.
30 years. Oh, yeah, we tried. We were a little shy. So we got out an hour ahead of time.
He's insane. He's crazy like a fox. He's not Kim Jong-un. Guaranteed, however, if Un does something stupid, outwardly, nakedly stupid, like I just supposed, with Trump, the gloves are off. He would send every fucking
and that's what
thing
I said.
Yes, he would.
Have.
You send everything. And I'll tell you right now, because we made it, Nikki Haley made it air apparent, hey, you know what? We have an enhanced military option, or whatever the exact phrasing was that she used today.
Numerous military options, or something like that.
You know what that says to me? All of our plans are ready to go. They're ready.
Rex
right
Tillerson
now.
said that last week, as a matter of fact.
We are so ready that engines are spooled just in case, and we know they are.
Mm-hmm.
He said nothing is off the table.
And everything needs to be on the
Everything
table.
should be on the table.
Because I'll tell you right now, and everybody, you know this. If we hesitate and Soul goes down as a result, we are going to be in a nasty. I don't care what technology we have. That's when we start to worry about the waves and waves of dead people that they're going to start running at our soldiers. But they can be overwhelming in numbers. They may not have the technology, but they have the numbers. And if Soul goes, we will be in a ground war at that point.
In Asia.
It's all bad.
That's bad.
And the second... Oh, sorry. Never get caught into a land war in Asia. Name the movie.
Oh.
You couldn't get it? Inconceivable.
Yes, Princess Bride.
Oh, see, you guys like that. I never saw it.
Great movie. Have a chance. Great movie.
Therefore, I can't drink the wine in front of me.
We're up against a break, folks. Hey, when we come back, we're going to wrap up with some news for the week. We're going to talk about a federal judge in California.
You know what?
It's not surprising.
If there was a land war in Asia at that point, though, I'd just back all off the peninsula, let them occupy the entire peninsula, stay out in the water, and just lob missiles at them.
Well, and I'm sure
that's what you want to do with everybody, though.
I'm sure Europe.
We need an aircraft carrier, Sean.
You remember when that guy was going door to door trying to sell us solar, and you wanted to do the same thing? Jeez, we'll be up against a break. We'll be back right here on the Sackheads Radio Show.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, Pundit Press Radio, and YouTube through the SHR Media page for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
Hey, this is Mim from Freedom Fest, the world's largest gathering of free minds. Join your friends from SHR Media at the beautiful Paris Resort in Las Vegas, Nevada, July 19th through the 22nd for 3 amazing days of liberty-oriented discussion, investment advice, and the Anthem Film Festival. It's our big 10th anniversary, featuring keynote speaker William Shatner and Freedom Fest favorites, including Steve Forbes, Jim Rogers, Lee Edwards, David Boaz, Doug Casey, Dinesh D'Souza, John Stossel, Lisa Kennedy, Grover Norquist, Peter Schiff, and many more. Don't miss out. Register at freedomfest.com for $100 off the regular registration rate when you use the all-caps code SHR Media.
The bloviating Zeppelin. He's big-footed enough radio shows to last a lifetime, courtesy of Sean, Clint, Ken, and Jersey Joe. Now it's time for him to waddle on his own 2 feet via the glorious SHR Media. Gird thy loins for the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, coming soon to Ossicles near you. Excelsior.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Back to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network.
And
SHR.
welcome back to the Clint
Sackheads Radio Show on the SHR Media Network.
Perfect.
www.shrmedia.com. That is our website. Make sure you follow us on YouTube and Spreaker. Please like, follow, and share everything you can. Check out Freedom Fest.
I have a Ouija board app.
You do have a Ouija board.
And I just got something sent to me from the other side.
Really?
In relation, this is dedicated to
I'd
Sean.
love to-
To Sean for calling me a big nose. That was, I don't know what. That's literally what just came in right now.
Well, you know, thank goodness for the other side. I'll tell you what. At least you have friends, right?
Right.
Not many, but you have some friends, and
just one or two.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. BZ, your segment, sir. We're going to talk about the federal judge who did something absolutely mind-boggling, surprising.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, in a good way.
Wow.
BZ?
This is like the last thing that I would have expected, certainly in California,
right,
and certainly from the federal courts. There's a website that I go to fairly frequently called the Washington Free Beacon, and it's kind of a cheesy looking website. You know, it doesn't look like the NewYorkTimes.com or anything like that, but it's got some great stories and great videos from the belly of the DC beast, whereas we're in the belly of the Fornicalia beast here. There was a headline that caught my eye, and it said, "Federal judge blocks California gun magazine, literally, confiscation scheme." And it's typified as this.
I love the word scheme.
Yes. This injunction is a huge win for California gun owners. A federal judge granted a preliminary injunction on Thursday that blocks California from enforcing the gun magazine confiscation law.
Yes.
Now, folks, when the left says to you, well, we're not going to confiscate anything from you. Hello, it's 12:30, it's late at night, it's 9:30 here on the left coast. Bullshit. And this is correct. And it starts here in Fornicalia. U.S. District Judge Roger Benitez said in his ruling that the law, which would make it illegal to possess any gun magazine capable of holding more than 10 rounds of ammunition, likely violates the Second Amendment rights of the plaintiffs in the case. Mm-hmm. He ordered immediately that California stop enforcing the law pending further legal action.
So
I am astounded.
So you can own high cap mags in California right now?
Well, as long as they were before the ban. So if you had already owned them when the ban went into effect, what was it, 8 years ago, whenever they did the high cap ban? If you had already previously owned those magazines that the people...
So it doesn't say the outright ban violates the Second Amendment.
As we know, the newest law that they passed, even if you owned it pre-ban, you had to turn them in.
Right.
Or destroy them and provide evidence that you destroyed them.
Yes, good luck with that.
Now...
here's a picture.
Now... it has changed. Yeah, exactly. Now, this judge is saying, hey, you can't do that because you're stripping somebody's personal property away from them and violating the Second Amendment. And you're not compensating them for taking that property away from them.
But if they're saying, and it violates the Second Amendment, if a high cap ban, mag ban violates the Second Amendment...
So now you have to destroy it all the way around.
That's my point.
It gets appealed up to the Supreme Court, right? Because this will get
the Ninth will rule on it, and they'll say, blah, 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 blah,
right,
bullshit,
so
bullshit,
you
bullshit.
file the appeal and you kick it up.
Yep.
And now you have California being the basis for the entire nation for bans against high-cap magazines.
Yep.
Stick it up your ass, boys!
Well, here's the interesting part. That judge, Benitez, went on to say that if the California law was allowed to stand, it would adversely affect millions of California gun owners.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what he wrote. He said, if this injunction does not issue, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of otherwise law-abiding citizens will have an untenable choice, become an outlaw or dispossess oneself of lawfully acquired property. That is a choice they should not have to make, not on this record. Astounding. Again,
absolutely astounding.
I say now, step back. Think about this for a second. Isn't it fucking amazing that I should have to quantify this ruling as astounding?
Yes.
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 Yes, so that's the sad part.
This is logic. This is common sense. This is going back to the Bill of Rights.
Yes.
And that I would have to say, I'm gobsmacked that a judge ruled in favor of laws is again, that's in and of itself.
It's so sad when we have to
amazing.
get excited about it. And that's the case. That's exactly what's happened. We're getting excited that somebody's actually following the law of the land.
But step back. Go back further. 2 things I said about Trump. Number 1, he wasn't my dude. I voted for him because he beat all the rest of the 16 or 17 people. 2 points. He wasn't Hillary Clinton. Number 2, SCOTUS. Neil Gorsuch is in. We're hearing there's going to be a second opening sometime this year. I thought it was going to be in the summer. I thought it was going to be by now. But I'm damn near certain that it's probably going to occur this year.
Right.
Now, all we've done, well, not all, what we've done is we've returned the court essentially to Scalia being present, because I think Gorsuch is going to continue on something of a Scalia course. That is critical, absolutely critical. And I do think Anthony Kennedy is going to go. He was the swing vote. Oh, my God. Now, if Trump gets 2 nominees and installs them successfully, which, if we keep the Senate, we can do, I firmly believe that we're going to get a third opening before 2018, before 2020, rather.
Well, and so how long do appeals take to get to the Supreme Court? Usually, about a year and a half, 2 years? By the time it goes to the 9th, and then they file the appeal, and the Supreme Court can actually have a hearing on it and then decide? So, potentially, by the time this will make it to the Supreme Court, I have no doubt about it, you're looking at maybe a year and a half, 18, 19 months before it gets there.
Well,
and then they have to agree to hear it.
Right.
Well, yes, number 1. Also astounding is the fact, but again, fuck me, astounding. It shouldn't be astounding. We had the Supreme Court recently say, including the lefties on the court, say that, you know what, 4th and 9th, we're going to allow Trump's travel ban to stay in place. I'm glad it happened, but that bespeaks, that sends a massive message to the courts, to the DCAs on the left coast, as in, you are fake law.
Yes.
There's fake news. You fuckers are fake law.
And we've talked about this how many times?
That's with Gorsuch. Imagine what the outcome would be in a new case like this, coming up to the Supreme Court with a second SCOTUS installation successfully installed from Trump.
Yeah. Oh, well,
I am telling you, that is why the leftists are going and have been fighting tooth and nail. They realize
on everything
completely how important a SCOTUS nominee really is. And they pulled the trigger too early.
So July 3rd, and this is from a website called TPM, NPR told, Justice Kennedy told 2018 clerk applicants he is considered retirement. That's it from July 3rd, written by Nicole LaFond on TalkingPointsMemo.com. So, yeah, it's not far away. That's the amazing part about all of this. Look, we've talked time and again about the courts, especially the big leftist courts, right? D.C., New York, the 9th. They need to be douched. They need to be cleaned out. And if we can't clean out the courts individually...
They have been douched.
Well, they need to be undouched.
Packed with them.
They need to be undouched.
They need to be dedouched.
Dedouched. Then you need to have a Supreme Court that's going to overturn their bullshit and actually do it the right way. And I go back to the San Diego case with the Second Amendment about being a right-to-issue state. If we had one more vote, that was even if they were a moderate, that vote would have been heard by that case would have been heard by the Supreme Court. As far as I'm concerned, that was just as big as Heller. For not only the state of California, but other states like Massachusetts, etc., where they follow.
Is the court looking at picking that up? I thought they were.
They were looking at it, but they should have just held the. They should have just already heard it, because it's a no-brainer. You're having a entity, and I live in a county where my sheriff who issues CCWs in my county is actually named in this case as well as a secondary defendant, where you're having them who aren't issuing for any real reason. And that's the amazing part. And I've talked to people with my local sheriff who work for him who said, yeah, unless you donate to his campaign or you carry an assload of money in circles around his county, you're not getting one.
I have an easy fix to this. All Republicans on Capitol Hill, I have such an easy fix to this.
Get it done.
Easier than that. Pass a bill, House, Senate, I don't care. Pass a bill saying, you know what? Congress reaffirms that the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution is an individual right, and it is a federal crime if any state enacts a law contrary to the Second Amendment as an individual right to include X, Y, and Z, sign it by the president, and it's a wrap.
Never happened. They can't even take care of sanctuary cities.
Well, that's my point.
Right. So
or constitutional amendment. How many, or simply reaffirm the Second Amendment, rewrite the Second Amendment as an individual. Look, we know people can't effing understand plain English. They can't say the right of a free state, meaning state of being, not state of the frickin' you live in.
Or how about this?
And just say it's the right of the individual shall not be infringed. Reword it, pass it, and it's a done deal.
Just like discipline. Don't you push discipline down to the lowest possible level?
Yes.
Yes, you do. How about this? How about a bunch of sergeants like I was who come across and tell their troops when they see a law-abiding citizen, because you know who they are when you run them through records, and they have a, quote, high-cap mag, and you go, nice. Here it is. Bye. See you later.
Well, the problem is BZ, you know as well as I do, so much has changed in that field that if any one of your officers says, hey, we were supposed to do this, and the sergeant told me no, and I'm going to go tell a lieutenant, now you have...
You don't want to know half the crap I told my troops.
No, I understand that, but let's end that. Let's not even make that part of the conversation anymore.
Nobody should be in that situation to say, oh, wait a second, I personally disagree with this, but I took an oath to uphold the law. Oh, my gosh, what do I do? Particularly with the scrutiny law enforcement's under today. Take it completely out of the equation. Officers shouldn't be in that position to begin with.
No disagreement here at all. None. On the other hand, point well taken, Sean, because we watched Berkeley PD and UCD Berkeley cops sit back as violence was occurring directly in front of their fucking faces in Berkeley, and they were given a stand-down order no matter what anyone says. They were given a stand-down order, and I watched supervisors with stripes on their sleeves do nothing.
Nothing whatsoever. Nothing. And like I said, that's what it starts to come down to. So you don't have to start fixing all these different procedures. You fix the wording in such a way that nobody can ever argue it
Easy.
again.
This is a federal issue. The states have no jurisdiction over it. 10th Amendment specifically says that. It's a federal issue. Go F yourself. All state laws related to firearms are null and void. Per the Second Amendment of the Constitution. Boom. It's a done deal.
Except that leftists love states' rights now.
All of a sudden, it's a big deal.
Isn't that
but read the look. What is states' rights though? Right? It is the states have the power to do things that are not specifically covered by the federal government, nor specifically prohibited by the Constitution. The Second Amendment is addressed in the Constitution. It is not a state issue.
Right.
It is a federal issue. Therefore,
depending on what the judges say.
Well, but that's the problem. You change the language, and the judges have no right to say anything.
Of course, it's bullshit.
Exactly.
And then, and then what happens too is you can turn around and now you make all federal any firearm violation at all.
It's all federal.
Federal, and you start looking at federal time for these fuckers who are in violation. Because at that point, the line is drawn so clearly.
Or hey, you know what? Redo the Second Amendment and say states have the authority, because states don't have rights, states have the authority to limit felons from owning firearms, from mentally ill from firearms, if you really want to go down that road. But otherwise, it's a federal fucking issue.
But you also have to understand, too, when we start talking about 10th Amendment, the state has the right to issue you more rights. You can be given...
You can't be given rights. Rights are natural.
Right. But they can create laws that restrict less.
Yes.
But they cannot create laws that restrict more than the Constitution allows.
Not for constitutional stuff, right.
And that's what everybody seems to forget. So And I know the argument's always made.
And the left is right now. The ambulance chasing hack is losing his mind.
Honey, get my magnets. Honey, get my magnets. We're gonna go throw them out tonight, right now. I'm all fired up.
Valium.
But the reality of the situation is, the states do this under the guise that when they start limiting firearms, that they're doing it to protect the people, right? Oh, we're protecting the people with these.
Yeah.
But the reality is no, you're not. You can argue all you want, but you're not really protecting the people. You're just restricting the rights of lawful gun owners.
Yeah, and you don't have the authority to restrict natural rights or to restrict what's in the Constitution for any sake.
Right.
And this is why I disagreed with a lot of the things in the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. Because we already have leftist courts making the decisions that you say they can't make.
They can't legally make it. The fact that they do is a different scenario.
We need SCOTUS on its current course.
Well,
we do. I'm not disagreeing with you. But, look, I'll use the left's argument against them. Hey, I had this discussion with the ambulance chasing hack who ultimately agreed with me. His premise at the time was...
Really?
Yes. His premise at the time was that if the Supreme Court rules on something that's constitutional, then it's constitutional. And I said, really? So if Congress made a law, he says, if Congress makes a law signed by the president, it becomes a law. SCOTUS says it's constitutional. It's constitutional. I said, okay. So let's take your theory.
I think I know where you're going.
I said, has SCOTUS ever made a ruling on something that was constitutional and it turned out not to be so? Dred Scott?
Come on.
It gets better from there. I then said, okay, so
how can it
Congress
possibly get better?
Easy. I said, because it's me. I said, so Congress passes a law. Congress says, because he started talking about for the social good. I said, okay, so Congress passes a law the social good because of the resources, the limited natural resources we have, that it is illegal for an American family to have more than 2 children.
What is social good?
And the president signs that into law. And they criminalize any family that has over 2 children, or once you have more than 2 children, it's forced sterilization, and it's challenged, and Supreme Court says that's constitutional. Is that valid? Is that in fact constitutional? He said, well, that would never happen.
Not the hypothesis.
That's what I said.
Hold on, let me show you Planned Parenthood. It already has happened.
So I said, answer the question. He said it would never happen. I said, Dred Scott. He said, damn it. I said, so answer the question. He said, okay, if that were to ever happen, yes, it would be unconstitutional. I dropped my microphone and walked away.
The standard circular argument, or the circular firing squad.
Yeah.
Dude, this is absolutely ridiculous.
It was so even he, and now what's funny is I talked to him later on and he tried to backpedal, and I said, hey, no way, and he kind of got a sheepish little smile. And the great thing about the hack is he's actually very pro 2A.
Which is the weirdest.
Good for him.
Very pro 2A.
I have another friend who's a humongous Democrat, but is extremely pro 2A.
Yeah, he's very pro 2A. Man, so that's the danger of the argument of, oh no, if Supreme Court says it's constitutional, then it's constitutional. Bullshit, because we can point to several cases in history, healthcare being another one.
Yes.
Where just because they say it's constitutional, don't make it so.
Right. Well, and we've talked about this time and again on the show. The problem is when constitutional law got changed into case law, is one of the biggest things.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
That I think is the biggest atrocities that's ever happened. Because now, instead of deciding specifically about the Constitution, you start going into the case and X, Y, and Z. And anyone who's dealt with law enforcement, you know what a slippery slope this is.
Yeah.
Because now you are micromanaging the individual action.
I'm sorry.
Why?
I can't tell you on the air.
Okay.
You said slippery slope, I pictured.
I knew what it was.
I pictured Kim Jong Un on a slip and slide.
Yeah. How many people know what a slip and slide is, though?
We need that T-shirt. The global slippery slope. BZ's looking at us like we freaking lost it. This Sackhead moment brought to you
Oh my God.
by Sackhead Clint. I want to thank you.
God. I don't even remember where I was going.
I'm sorry.
You'll have to tell me later.
Yeah. I gotta put my headphones back on. All right. Holy shit. Oh, hashtag. No. But, when we got into case law, you're now starting to dissect literally every third or fourth law action and turning it into a law versus deciding on the law itself. And you look at how many times it's come back to bite people in the ass, where it's like, all of a sudden, this is the case law on this, and it can't be changed because this one person did this.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we're just going to decide if it's constitutional or not. We're not going to tell you why. That's one of the things that I should do. Nope, this was constitutional, this wasn't. This specific case gets tossed.
Mm-hmm.
But you know the ground rules, and that's what we live by.
Mm-hmm.
But we've gotten into this case law where the manipulation of it is absolutely incredible. You can't stop. That's my favorite part about this.
Dude, I have an image in my brain. I have an image in my brain. Like just a cheesy, over-the-top, single-piece, spaghetti-strap swimsuit.
Oh, yeah. No. Like one of the jumpers.
Yes!
Like one of the jumpers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. With the sandals and the fishing hat with the sunglasses. And he's just running for the slip and slide. Oh, yeah, no, I'm already there. Oh, this is horrific.
This is what makes it great. This is, and folks, just so you know, this is exactly the type of conversation Sean and I used to have
all the time,
standing in front of Starbucks.
This is how Sackhead started.
This is how Sackhead started.
It sounds like this is the story of origins.
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
This
origins.
sort of jackassery is what led to this. Oh, boy. I'm excited. By next week, I should have my brand new Grunt Style shirt for the July edition.
Oh, nice. Are they going to sponsor us?
I don't know. I'm working on it.
Are they going to sponsor us? Because we'll wear their shirts on air all the time.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah,
I do
they
love
don't
their
have
shirts.
they don't have tent size though.
Oh,
that's not
we'll
true.
Work on it.
We'll work on it.
They have a custom shop. We'll get that for you.
Yeah. Hey, look, we don't even want money. We'll just take shirts.
Nonstop. Hey, you know what?
No, stop. We want money.
I'll whore myself.
Right. We want shirts.
Easily.
Oh, we'll wear your shirt. That's all right.
I'm just saying. Literally dozens of people a month will see it. Oh, man. Hey, I want to thank everyone who was in the chat room tonight.
You're welcome.
The chat room was out of control with how playful they were tonight, with all the great names, all the fun.
What was the best missile one we got?
Oh, gosh. I'll have to go through them for next week.
All right.
But the...
and the van pictures.
The van pictures all over Twitter. If you hashtag free candy, you'll see them. There's a whole bunch of them there. But I really want to thank the interaction, because the fact that we were asking you guys to make silly names tonight and chat, and you did.
And got great photographs.
Yes, it was.
No one sent me any photograph of Orange Shag, though.
Oh, no. Check your Twitter. I retweeted one and quoted you.
Oh, okay. All
it's there. I promise. It's there. Carrie Baxter Donovan did it for us. So thank you, guys. Thank you for everyone who's watching on YouTube. Like I said, please subscribe to our channel, like and share. Freedom Fest. I'm going to put it up right now so everybody... FreedomFest.com, 19th to the 22nd, July 2017, at the Paris Resort in Las Vegas. You are running out of time. SHR 100 is the promo code. Make sure you check it out, please. It's going to be astounding.
2 weeks to go.
2 weeks. Some great changes to the website. Thank you to Dan from High Plains Pundit, who's just been busting his rear end for us. SHR
Well,
TV.
let's not forget Jersey Joe, because now he's the lead-in Monday through Friday.
I'll get there.
The new SHR regime. I think that's great. He's your lead-in. He's my lead-in.
And Ralph before him. We have Ron Edwards earlier in the day. We have a lot going on in the afternoon here on SHRmedia.com. But Danny Butcher added SHR TV, which is great. Our broadcast schedule has been put up. It is great. Chat room's there. You can get everything you need at SHRmedia.com. Make sure you follow us at Sackheads on Twitter and all the other insane social media. BZEP, you're back tomorrow night, 11 p.m. on
the only
East.
one thing that you can't get at SHRmedia.com is plastic sheets and Wesson oil. That's
not
all
true.
That
is not true.
Is it?
That is absolutely not true.
In process?
Well, we're in negotiation with Wesson.
Right.
Because I'm still...
It might be Crisco.
No, it's going to be Wesson, and I'm doing
it is.
I will only negotiate with Mrs. Brady. So until they call back, that's it. That's it. I'm not doing anything else. BZEP, who do you get for tomorrow night?
Me.
Just you?
Just me.
Wow.
Although coming, I'm going to have Jeff Dunitz, but I think that's next week. Jeff is
awesome.
always a great interview,
Jeff
and he's
is-
fun as hell.
Jeff is one of my favorite people.
His hell, his fun. That's Jeff.
I'll tell you right now, he's one of my favorite people to talk to. We talk on a fairly regular basis. He's a blast to talk to and has a great show and a great website. He's launching his video portion of thelid.com that you got to check out as well. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. High Plains Pundit, our news and broadcast partners as well. HBTV, carrying all the SHR media shows. Thank you so much. We're going to be back next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 on the East Coast, right here on SHRmedia.com.
For our final show before Freedom Fest.
Final?
It's our Freedom Fest preload.
Yeah. Yeah, we will load up Freedom Fest.
My
We're going to spend a lot of time on Freedom Fest, going through what the schedule is, going through all that stuff, just really getting it laid out.
And I want to say, come on out. Flights are still pretty reasonable.
If you're in the area,
if you're in the area, stop by, come say hi to us, come see us.
Yeah.
Give us a shout, come to Freedom Fest.
Yeah, if you're in
It's
Las
a
Vegas to
great
go see
show.
the Pawn Stars guy, to go see their shop and whatnot, hey, drop by Freedom Fest.
Yeah, come on. It's SHR100, your promo code. You got to get it now. We'll see you next week, folks. Thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure you check out everybody here on SHRmedia.com. Thank you so much. We will talk to you soon.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America, Sackheads Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk than Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on the immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work there too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best in late-night conservative talk, Sackheads Radio.
Radio.
Radio.